Well, a very good afternoon. We are broadcasting outside the Gqeberha High Court, where rape accused Pastor Timothy Omotoso has concluded his cross-examination by senior advocate Duduzi. During the cross-examination, Duduzi focused on the statements presented by four of the witnesses. One of them was Andisiwe Dike, in which he explained, talked first about how did she land up in the mission house, to which Omotoso exclaimed that he had heard from the ladies in the mission house that she was a lady who was using money for sexual favors, and because of that he felt that rather than her being outside, she should rather invite him to come to the mission house. And then when he was asked, why would you invite a young lady who has got no musical backgrounds or aspirations of being in the choir, because the reason why the mission house was formulated was to train young girls who wanted to become part of the choir and groom them vocally to become better musicians. He told the court that she insisted she wanted to become part of the choir, and the only other place she could be trained to become that was inside the mission house. He then explained later on that the relations between him and one of the complainants, Ms. Dike, they were very good, they had very good relations, and never at once when she did come to a room and she alleges that he forced her into sexual assault. He says that he denies this, saying that at no point when she came inside his room did he ever at all force her or insert, as she says, as she alleges, his private part in between her thighs, ejaculated. He then denied this, saying that did not happen at all. When she came to his room, it was all to give her counseling because of the challenges she faced in her life. He was then asked that at any point did women come to his house, to his room, whether individually as a group. He then replied that yes, at times women would come individually, but they would come to his house particularly because they were facing problems, and then he would counsel them. And then he was asked, when the woman came into your room, was there a chair they would sit in? Because all the women who testified here said that when they went into his room, he would force them onto a bed, therefore insinuated there was no chair to sit on for the counseling that he spoke of. He then said that there was no chair, the only chair in his room was the chair he used to put his foot on when he played the guitar. Said that most of the times when the ladies came to his room, whether as a group or individually, whether they would sit or stand around his room or kneel around his room. But he also did state that the counseling sessions, whether they happen individually or as a group, would also take place sometimes outside the room, which would be in the lounge outside the keyboard. So therefore insinuating that not all the times when he counseled the girls, either as a group or singularly, was that done in this room. He then also did state that yes, he did ask at times the girls to massage him, and also at times the girls inside the house would also see how tired he was because of the praying and fasting and the vocal training he was doing with the choir inside the house. He would be tired, and the girls would at times ask him, Dada or Daddy, do you want a massage? And then they would give a massage voluntarily. He said that he also was asked that every time the girls came to the house, were they aware that one of the rules or the speculations that when you come to the house you have to massage Omotoso? And he says that I don't know, because I don't know what was communicated to them prior arriving to the house. He then went to the testimony of the twins, who also did allege that every time they went to his room, he would sexually molest them numerous times, not just once, and all stated exactly the same thing. Both twins stating that they were sexually violated by Omotoso, again speaking of himself rubbing his sexual organs against the legs, him then ejaculating, then being forced to then clean that up, and then after that he would pray. And there was a constant recurrence throughout the sexual advances. He then ended off his testimony, or the cross-examination ended with the state then going to Cheryl Zondi's testimony, really taking it back to how she found herself in the mission house. And the state was saying that in Zondi's statement, she said that how she got to the mission was that one day she was singing while attending a church crusade, and one of the local pastors actually came up to her and said that the Pastor Omotoso wants to meet you. And Omotoso said that in fact that is true, and the reason why this specific local pastor, Pastor Mbulelo, saw and reached out to Cheryl Zondi to get mentorship by Omotoso was that there was a video that she had done confessing about the evil things she did during the times of darkness. So therefore Pastor Mbulelo felt that the only way to take her out of this darkness was to link her up with the father figure they called Omotoso and take her to the house. Zondi then explains that when she got to the house, she was commanded and told to go and see Pastor Omotoso, and inside his room, yet again, as he did with the twins, as they allege, as he did with Andisiwe Dike, as he did with Lerato, he again, allegedly by Zondi saying, inserted his private part in between her thighs, he ejaculated, she had to wipe it off, and then they had to pray. And she says that even when they traveled to Nigeria and Israel, because then Zondi became part part of a three-group choir. Even when they traveled as a three-group choir, both in Nigeria and Israel, he also molested. So also saying that the molestation not only happened in Durban or in the mission house, but also outside of the country, Omotoso would molest the girls. And in the end, Omotoso said that all the testimonies of the girls, whether it is Dike, whether it's Lerato, whether it's Cyril Zondi, are all lying. And then Duduzi, the advocate of the state, said, so are you saying that all these girls' testimonies who are saying that you sexually assaulted them, whether at the house or during a tour outside the country, is false? And he said, all of them are lying. I did not rape them. So what we're expecting tomorrow is that Omotoso now has wrapped up his cross-examination, and defense lawyer Peter Doberman has said that he's going to bring now accused number 2, Lusando Sulani, as the second witness to be now cross-examined by the state tomorrow in court.